Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of One Piece episode 582. And if you remember from last episode, we find out Luffy's now in possession of human legs, which has now attached themselves onto him. How random and weird is that? Now moving on to a different scene, we find out the group is actually heading toward the snow-capped mountains for snow cones. Luffy, come on, you're not a pregnant woman, what's with it? You had dragon meat, now you want snow cones? The dragon meat should have been enough. But okay, to each their own. Moving on past that, we're introduced to a new character. Now, we don't know what his name is yet. However, he's in the form of a panther centaur. I thought that was kind of interesting and definitely worth mentioning. However, he's getting chummy with Luffy, and there's a little concern there. I mean, what's his angle? At the same time, there's a guy off in the distance spying on the group. Now, we don't know which faction he works with. Is he a pirate? Does he work for the Navy? We don't know. All we do know is that he's spying and he's talking on a snail transponder to the girl that Usopp saw, the girl with wings, the birded lady. So it's starting to make a little sense. Moving on past that, now again we're taken to a different scene with Sanji, Chopper, Nami, and Frankie. They're in a cell and they don't know how they wound up in the cell. However, there's a severed head in the corner. Now it's in pieces and they put it back together. However, it's a severed head. Don't you find that a little strange? It's not Buggy the Clown's head, it's a severed head. And it's talking. And we still don't know the name of this severed head. Just putting that out there. Now again, we are taken to a different scene toward the end of the episode with Brook. Yeah, where is Brook? What happened? Why isn't he with Nami and everyone else? Yeah, he's on the Thousand Sunnies still. Yeah, Punk Hazard, these guys in those yellow hazmat outfits, thought he was murdered. He was already dead. So like, why bother bringing him back to the laboratory? He's no guinea pig, he's dead. He's dead, he's done. And again, that's where the episode ends, and I'll hold my final thoughts and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Nami, and she's being very disrespectful to this severed head. She's being a bitch, plain and simple. Now again, the severed head kind of had this coming because we are taken to a different scene where he's not making fun of Nami's clothes, but he thinks it's disrespectful with what she's wearing. I mean, she's only wearing a top, it's not covering anything, but he likes it. Now he refers to her top as a breast band, and Sanji doesn't like that. He likes Nami. In fact, he thinks he's disrespecting Nami, so Sanji kicks the crap out of this severed head, and it's just, wow. The severed head did have it coming, but Nami, you stepped out of line. You should never do that to someone you don't even know. I mean, seriously. Doesn't even have a nosebleed. Now, of course, we are taken to a different scene with a severed head, and he wants to know more about these people who are in jail with him, you know. I mean, who are these guys? He doesn't know anything about Nami, about anyone, so we asked, who are you guys? And they replied, we're pirates. And then this severed head kind of changes his expression. He's like, pirates. Never mind, don't save me, I don't like you guys. I have no idea what crawled up his butt, or should I say not his butt, since he doesn't have one right now, but what crawled up him and died. I mean, what do these pirates do? What is his thing with pirates? He hates them, but why does he hate them? I just don't understand. But again, he's not taking any help from the pirates, and he's just being very negative right now. Of course, we are taking to a different scene with Nami, and she's trying to get her bearings on where she's at right now. I mean, at one part, they were on like the fire side of the island, where it was all lava and whatnot, and now she's in the snow-capped mountains where it's all winterish and cold. I mean, at least now she knows where she's at. However, she had an assumption based on where the clouds were at, you know, the actual weather, what it was going to be like on the island. But again, at least she knows where she's at now. She has her bearings, but she still has tons of answers. She wants answers. But again, that ends it there. Moving on to a different scene, of course. Now we see Frankie, and he's given the go-ahead to, you know, break the door down, so he uses his radical beam to blow the doors away, and he does. It's an amazing scene, but I'm like, I thought those guys in yellow hazmat outfits knew he was a cyborg. They said he was a cyborg, so they should have known he would have had something up his sleeves, especially the radical beam. I mean, come on! What kind of security would overlook that? You knew he was a cyborg, yet you let him have his weapons? You could have took his cola away so he wouldn't have the fuel to use them, but you weren't that smart, were you? Some laboratory, some security. Just putting that out there. Of course, we are taken to a different scene with Sanji, and he's about to, you know, leave the room in general with everyone else, and he turns back, he sees the head, which he knows is a samurai's head, so he knows the head that this body belongs to is a samurai. However, he feels a little bad, and he wants to take the head with him. Now, we are taken to a different scene with the severed head, and we find out a little more information, just like one piece of information. Apparently, he's on the island to find his son. And I guess that kind of makes Sanji feel a little bad, so Sanji takes the head with him. So that was kind of interesting. However, the guys in yellow hazmat outfits have finally, like, they hear the alarm, they're checking everything out, and they run into Frankie, and guess what? Frankie uses more of his weapons that he shouldn't have on him, and he takes out the guys in yellow hazmat outfits. I thought it was kind of hilarious. Again, another good moment for Frankie, plain and simple. Now we are taken to a different scene. Now, I thought this was kind of, what type of a scene? I mean, we see Nami and everyone else bolting. They're running down like the hallway, and they're trying to look at each door to see which one they can run out and leave the building from. And they picked the wrong door. That's all I'm going to say. They picked the wrong door. They enter it, and they see these giant kids in general, everywhere. And that's it. That's the end of that scene. We don't get to understand what they're really looking at. I mean, they're kids, but what are they capable of doing? Why are they giants in this room? Why are there kids in this laboratory? They don't know, just that there's kids everywhere. Of course, we are taken to a different scene with Luffy and this Panther Centaur, which is now, we have his name. His name's Haurus. So Luffy and Haurus are now friends, and to commemorate being friends, they're going to have a race to the burning tower to seal their friendship? Really? On the fire side of the island? Near lava? Hey, to each their own, that's all I'm going to say. So we are taken to a different scene, of course, with Brook and Usopp. I thought this was kind of interesting because, you know, Brook, he's on the Thousand Sunny, and he's using the snail transponder to talk to Usopp, filling him in and telling him everything that's happened, where Nami's at, where he's at, that he's on past the Winter Cap Mountain, or should I say the Snow Cap Mountain. But, you know, it's very winterish there. I mean, there's snow everywhere. It's kind of weird. Of course, Robin is eavesdropping, so she knows about everything, and, you know, they have tons of questions. However, Brook he can't answer them because, you know what? We are taken to another flashback. And in this flashback, I know I said another because we haven't seen any throughout this episode yet, but this is the first flashback. But it feels like another flashback of, you know, Brooks. That's, you know, him doing something he shouldn't have been doing. Apparently, you know, the guys in yellow hazmat outfits thought he was dead or murdered, so they didn't take him into the laboratory. Now, when, you know, Brook came to, he was trying to drink, you know, he was comfortable. He looks like he was drinking tea or something, and he's trying to ask these guys questions, but instead of, you know, these guys in yellow hazmat outfits answering his questions, they shoot him. And then Brook takes a defensive position, and he uses his 3-pace hum notch slash on them, and he takes them out, and he doesn't get any answers from them. You know, who are you? What faction are you from? You know, who, what, where, when? None of those questions are answered, you know? So he's got nothing to tell Robin, nothing to tell Usopp or Zoro or Luffy, so he's in the blank. He's got nada. Zip. Of course, we are taken to a different scene with Haurus and Luffy. Guess what? Haurus won the race. Plain and simple. However, Luffy doesn't want to let it go. He wants another race. And it looks like they're about to have another race, but Haurus has a snail transponder that's ringing. Now he's being contacted by, I guess, whoever he works for, and they're basically telling him that Luffy, he is the intruder. The Straw Hats, they're the intruders. They're not your friends. So we're taken to a different scene with Luffy versus Haurus. Haurus is wised up. He says, "You've tricked me. We're not friends. I'm taking you out." So I thought, okay. So Haurus versus Luffy. However, Haurus gets backup. One of his comrades shows up, and apparently his comrade is half giraffe, half human. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing a pattern in freaks here. Come on, more centaurs? Yeah, but again, Robin, she jumps in. She finally jumps in. I like how she jumps in all the time at the last moment and saves the day, kind of. Yeah, she jumps in. She takes care of this half giraffe, half human guy. He's out cold. He's done. And we are taken to a different scene with Usopp. Now, Usopp actually picks up, you know, Haurus' snail transponder with, it actually has the initials CC on it. Now, I have no idea what CC stands for other than Centaur something. Centaur Central, Central Centaur. I don't know what CC could stand for. Of course, we are taken to a different scene with Luffy, and he actually gives the legs that are attached to him names, like those extra set of legs that attach to him. He calls them Leg Mario. I'm like, Leg Mario? Really? Just call him Mario. You know, like Mario and Luigi. Hey, Mario. But, you know, that's just me. Of course, we are taken to another scene. Now we're taken back to the laboratory. Now we get to see who's in charge of the laboratory. Now we don't know what his name is yet. At least in the anime series, it hasn't been introduced. But we see the master of this, whatever. He's the new villain. In my eyes, he's the villain. And he's been referred to as the master. And he's being told that, you know, I guess his new test subject has escaped. but they're now escaped toward the biscuit room. So I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, so they're being held at the biscuit room. They walked right into the biscuit room, and we have no idea what the hell the biscuit room is. That's that place where there was tons of little kids and giant kids. But at least now the master knows where they're at. I thought it was kind of funny that he's just knowing this now. I'm like, the alarms wasn't good enough. Now moving on past that, he's also being told that G5's Navy ship is approaching in the northwest shore, and Smoker's on board. That's right, Smoker. I can't wait to see more of him. Now apparently this master isn't playing fair, so he's pumping, I guess, the atmosphere full of poisonous gas. Now G5 notices right away, and Smoker picks up on this. He's like, something is up. The gas shouldn't be like this, because this is the same island that both of the admirals, the vice, those both of the admirals were fighting on. So I thought, wait a minute. So this was that major island that both, Momoji and, Kei was actually fighting on. I called him Kei, Kuzan and Momoji. And I thought it was kind of, sorry, I didn't mean Momoji's, my bad. Sorry, I don't want to go there with names, switch off. But you know what I'm talking about. The admirals were both fighting on the actual island. This was the island that they both fought on. And again, G5, some of them have their masks on. One guy's already dead on their ship, so at least they know that the air is now poisonous, so they're aware of it. And that's where the episode ends. As per final thoughts, let's see, where should I begin? Smoker, what's your next step? What's your next step? Where are you going with this? I can't wait to see. As for Sanji and everyone else, yeah, my face just went down because I have to start talking about them. I have no idea what the biscuit room really is. I mean, we see all these little kids. Are they test experiments? Are they children of the guys in yellow hazmat outfits? We don't know. Now, as for Luffy and Haurus, are they still friends? Probably not, but I'm interested to see where they're going to go from here. Obviously, Luffy is going to try to save Nami and everyone else that's at the snow-capped mountain, but we're not there yet. But I can't wait until we are there. As for the samurai body, I'm wondering, is the severed head belonging to the legs, and where's the torso? Just putting that out there. And again, that is it for my final thoughts. As per my rating, 4 out of 5. Can I be honest? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to cut the shit. 4 out of 5. Was there any drama? Not really, no. New information? Some. It was there. Was this worth watching? Oh yeah, it was. I got a couple of good laughs out of it. At the same time, I want to see more Smoker, so 3.5 out of 5. I'm just going to scratch the 4. 3.5 out of 5. Final rating, 3.5 out of 5. And that ends it for my walkthrough review of One Piece episode 582. But definitely comment down below, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely subscribe, check me out on Twitter, and follow me if you like. But let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you think's going to happen in the next episode that's coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now, and I gotta hit the bricks. I gotta go. Got more to do, more to see, and more to try. Before I go, I gotta say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.